Call the meeting to order. For those who care to, please rise for an opening prayer and salute to our flag. Brenda, would you lead us in a word of prayer?
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we just thank you for the evening that you've given us to come together tonight. Lord, I pray for each and every one here that we'll all have a good meeting, Lord, and you will be honored. Bless this meeting, Lord, and give us a safe journey home. In His name I pray. Amen.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Barely. A few announcements today. City Council Workshop will be held May 19th, 6 p.m. at Fire Station Number 1. If you're not able to attend, please let Brenda know. Memorial Day is May 25th. City offices will be closed on May 25th due to the holiday. Therefore, the May 25th council meeting is moved to Tuesday, May 26th, 7 p.m. at City Hall. Birthdays this month. Garrett Tyson is May 13th. Angela Heatherly, our HR director, is May 20th. And May 4th was King's birthday. We got a card for you, King. Jared Keeling's birthday.
The song was enough the other day.
We sang happy birthday to Jared at the Employee Appreciation Lunch. Thank you. We embarrassed him and Chris Arnold at the same time, which is, we almost had the trifecta if we could have thrown Miss Muller in there. We had a good time. And then Mr. Harder.
Yeah.
Mr. Harder's birthday is on the 22nd. I'm not going to tell you that he's in his 50s now. Again, been there. Thanks, sir. So happy birthday to everybody that has birthdays this month. And let's see. In your packet is the agenda for the special workshop agenda there too. So please take a look at that if you have any questions. Additionally, I'd like to open a public hearing concerning an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri annexing approximately 13 acres owned by CT Construction and Equipment, LLC, located in the southwest corner of the interchange of Interstate 44, State Highway MM in Greene County, Missouri. Ms. Noggle, would you please give us the overview?
I would be happy to. This public hearing is in reference to annexation of approximately 13 acres. Is that coming through okay? Am I a little bit light?
It works.
Does it work?
Good.
Come on. Encompassing about 13 acres at the southwest corner of Highway MM and I-44. Close proximity along the Highway MM corridor to Farm Road 140. The actual consent, has been mentioned before, has been filed by CT Construction and Equipment Company and has requested the annexation of the 13 acres.
All right, thank you very much. Anyone wishing to speak for this particular public hearing, please step forward, state your name, sign in, and give us your best 3 minutes. Anyone wishing to speak against this particular public hearing, please step forward, state your name, sign in, and give us your best 3 minutes. Fair enough. Public hearing closed. I'd like to open it up now to citizen participation. Anyone wishing to speak to anything not on the agenda, please step forward, state your name, sign in, and give us your best 3 minutes. Seeing none, citizen participation closed. I'd like to have a motion on the consent agenda.
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Financial report, Mr. O'Donnell, please give us an overview, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Just a few comments for this evening. Trust everyone has their packets. First off, in looking at the unrestricted cash balances report, you'll note that we did have a bit of a decrease from March at 7.7 million to April just above 7 million, approximately 639,000 difference. There were two events in April that contributed to that. First off, We have an annual principal and interest payment relating to our 2010 bond series. For 2014, that P&I payment was $559,190. That contributed quite a bit to it. And then the second event was that we had three payroll dates in April, April 2nd, 16th, and 30th. And the net reduction in cash from that third payroll date was $193,701. So that's more than attested to why we had the decrease. If we didn't have those two events, our cash would have gone up by $114,000 for the month. Then, turning over to the recap of year-to-date revenues and expenses, it looks a little unusual, and there's a reason why. As you can see, we have three sets of numbers. First, as of April 30th, 2015, then April 30th, 2014, which I call estimated. These were the numbers that were presented to council this time last year. And in looking at those numbers, year-to-date nets seemed a little bit odd because it looked like we were doing worse than we were last year, when in fact we've been doing pretty well in comparison up till now. I did another review of the April numbers. As best as I can explain it, there were additional adjustments that were booked into the April accounting period in Summit that were done in the calendar month of June. I will assume that these related to year-end closing and the audits. I have no explanation why it was done this particular way, but if we go by the final numbers that are in the accounting software, which is the third set of numbers, April 30th final, you can see that we are still doing a little bit better than last year. $1,585,000 down for 2015 and $1,686,000 down for 2014. And that's what I kind of expected when I compare April to March, because we had that same big P&I payments last April as well, so I would have expected the same carryover. So in the interest of completeness, I wanted to make sure that you knew what the difference was between what was reported last year and what is true. So, with that, and let me, just to reiterate the point, as you know, we have the annual city audit coming up, and Marshall Decker will be in starting tomorrow to conduct his field work. If you have any questions with respect to the audit, please let myself or Mr. Krischke know. Other than that, I await your questions.
Questions, comments, discussion for Mr. O'Donnell. Mr. Finkelbeer?
I noticed Parks and Recreation went down over 200,000 from month to month. Was there one large event there, or is that just things starting up for the season? I didn't have a chance to dive into the numbers.
I would say that's probably with things heading up where, you know, you're hiring more summertime help and so forth and gearing up for the summer rush. So I can look at those numbers once again.
It's March, so I didn't know. I don't know if Jared knows, but yeah, if you could shoot those to me, it's no big deal for tonight. If you don't know off the top of your head, I thought maybe there was one big payment we made or something.
Not to my recollection, but I can take a quick look at that for you.
Good. Additional questions, comments, discussion? Mr. O'Donnell? Anything at all? See none, need a motion to approve financial report?
Motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Reports from staff. Mr. Krischke, anything?
No, sir.
Mr. Derricks?
No, sir.
Fantastic. Future community events. Welcome, Mr. Keeling.
Good evening, thank you. Future community events for the rest of May, and I do have one to report for, a couple of report for in June. First of all, we started youth baseball, softball tonight. There's a lot of people over at Miller Park. It's always a good time of year, so being a baseball guy, I love to see them out there. So May the 14th, this Thursday, is Republic Farmers Market opens at the Orscheln's parking lot from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. This coming Saturday, May the 16th, is our second event at the AMP for the year. That event starts at 7 o'clock with trivia, drawings, etc. And then at approximately 8:15, we'll be showing the Hunger Games. May the 18th is coming Monday. Is Toddler Open Gym. That's at 10 a.m. That's for toddlers 0 to 5. May 22nd through June the 12th is Todd Academy. We hold that on Fridays for ages 2 to 5. It's at 10:30 a.m. Pre-registration is required. A week from Saturday, the Republic Aquatic Center opens. Hopefully it'll be a little bit warmer out there. We open at noon every single day. Noon to 7 Monday through Saturday, noon to 6 on Sundays. As the mayor stated earlier, on May 25th, city offices will be closed on Memorial Day on May 25th. And our senior movie day on May 28th is to be determined. That's at 3 p.m. Another event at the AMP will be held on June the 5th. It starts at 7 o'clock. First time we've ever did this. We're going to have kids take the mic night. Singing, karaoke thing started at 7 o'clock. They'll be followed by Toy Story 3. And 19th annual Have a Blast celebration Friday, June the 26th.
We're doing that again this year?
We're going to go ahead and do that again. Yeah.
Mr. Keenan, how we doing on the May Day run?
It was good. Our registrations are down. The Roar run really hurts us. It's the week after, and then the week before they had Lives Run for Life, and both of those runs hurt us a little bit. But we're overall doing well. So.
All right, thank you, sir. Board, Commissions, and Committee schedule, Board of Adjustments, June 4th. Capital Improvements, May 27th. City Council, May 26th and June 8th. And Planning and Zoning, May 18th. On old business and table items, need a motion to have the second reading of bill number 15-09.
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Try that again. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing and directing the City Administrator of the City of Republic, Missouri to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the Nixa Fire Protection District host agency, Logan Rogersville Fire Protection District, Willard Fire Protection District, Battlefield Fire Protection District, Ozark Fire Protection District, Ebenezer Fire Protection District, and the cities of Seymour and Bolivar for the joint purchase and ownership of a respirator mask fitting testing system.
A motion to have final approval, bill number 15-09.
Motion.
Second.
A motion second. Welcome, Chief Compton. Give us the overview, sir.
For the record, the next bill is the longest title of the year.
So far.
Not me.
Longest in us, right?
This is a cooperative purchase with the participants that Brenda listed there, and it is for the purchase of a fit test machine that will allow us to test our staff annually as required by OSHA, the National Fire Protection Association, to see that their breathing apparatus mask fits properly. We're currently paying annually approximately $950 to have staff tested. They have to drive to the east side of Springfield, and to get staff on duty tested in one day is nearly impossible. Time they drive 20 minutes over there and are there for a period of time and drive back, we can usually get 3 to 4 done. We would be part owner in this. The Nixa Fire Protection District is the host agency. Like we've done with other cooperative purchases, I have confirmed with the Nixa Fire District they're going to do the same. They will not be a clearinghouse for collection of the money. Our payment for this portion of this machine will go directly to the vendor. And that's what we've done with other cooperative purchases over the years. And with the exception of Republic, Battlefield, and Ebenezer, everybody else has signed on.
Fair enough. Questions, comments, discussion with Chief Compton?
And those board meetings are tonight.
Yes, sir. Questions, comments, discussion with Chief? Anything at all? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilmember Harrelson? Aye. Councilmember Poole? Aye. Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Councilmember Brashears?
Aye.
Councilmember Jones?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilson?
Aye.
Councilmember Klinkenbeard?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much. On the next item, need a motion to have the second reading of bill number 15-10.
Motion.
Have a motion and a second.
Second.
Thank you. So a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries.
An ordinance amending Chapter 200 Republic City Code, Police Department, Article 2, Mutual Aid, is amended by adding subparagraph F to Section 200.020, Law Enforcement Mutual Aid, adding language regarding lack of jail space creating an emergency situation. Chapter 200 Republic City Code, Police Department, is amended by adding Article 4, Jail Operations, Section 200.040, Jail use by Republic and other law enforcement agencies. Chapter 130, Republic City Code Municipal Court, Article 2, Court Costs and Fees, is amended by adding subparagraphs G and H to Section 130.290, court cost, adding language regarding detention costs for outside law enforcement agencies, and allowing for cost for court services.
Motion to have final approval of bill number 15-10.
Motion.
Motion second, Mr. Derrickson.
Yes, sir.
Please give us your answer, sir.
As you recall, and if you've been watching the news, the sheriff has shut down jail facilities for any municipal violators that are arrested on a warrant or otherwise arrested on a municipal charge. And we are the only city in Greene County that has a jail facility. And the police department's in the process of getting it up and running, and it can house people temporarily right now, and I think they've been doing that for our own prisoners and on occasion for other agencies. In order to firm that up as something that is set forth in the ordinances to allow the city to do that, these changes or amendments are being put before council to clarify and give some ordinance backing to what is being done. Did note, and you should have received a memorandum, that there were a few errors in the original ordinance that we were asking a motion to change, and also as a result of the language being changed in 200-020, we needed to add another sentence to the proposed change to section 130.290 so that the section 200-020 and the section 130.290 referenced each other so that it was clear that they were not in conflict but intended for the same thing to occur. So, huh? Got it, okay. Trust me. But anyway, the proposed changes, if council chooses to amend it, I'll read it, and if you think it's appropriate to make a motion to amend the ordinance to make these corrections, then you can do that. The first change is in the heading of the ordinance. It says, currently reads section 130.290 court cost and fees. That was one of those cut and paste errors from another ordinance that we had dealt with last year. It should have really read section 132.90 processing fees, individuals charged with offenses in other jurisdictions, because this 132.90 doesn't deal with court cost, and so it deals with processing fees. So that would be the first change. And then in section 200.040 paragraph A, this is one of those things that your spell check doesn't pick up on. The word polices is in there, and it should have been policies. In the heading to section 3 of that same section, again, asking to amend that from court cost and fees to processing fees, individuals charged with offenses in other jurisdictions. And then in section 132.90, the proposed change is to renumber H to I, insert a new H, which reads as follows. In addition to detaining and processing persons arrested as described in paragraphs B and G above, the Republic Jail may accept prisoners from other law enforcement agencies under the circumstances described in Code Section 200.020 paragraph F. And that's where we're trying to tie those two together.
I'll make a motion as per Ron Derrickson's read-in changes.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries on that particular amendment. Mr. Derrickson, continue with your overview, sir.
If there are any other questions, basically what these changes allow the City of Republic to do is to accept prisoners from other law enforcement agencies on municipal charges per an agreement that would be entered into, which is the next thing on the agenda. And it would also allow the city to accept people arrested on municipal warrants in the area who are arrested by the Highway Patrol. Right now, what the Highway Patrol is having to do is they arrest someone on a municipal warrant, they are duty-bound to make that arrest, and they've been driving up to the jail, punching the button and saying, "We've got a prisoner here," and they say, "What jurisdiction is it for?" And it's a municipality. They say, "We can't accept them," they recite the statute the sheriff is relying on, and so the Highway Patrol just takes the prisoner out, sets him down, unlocks the handcuffs, and drives off. So they, I think, would appreciate us being able to assist them under the same circumstances that we're assisting the cities in the area.
Questions, comments, discussion for Mr. Derrickson? Anything at all? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilmember Clinkenbeard,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilson,
Aye.
Councilmember Jones,
Aye.
Councilmember Brashear,
Aye.
Councilmember Harder,
Aye.
Councilmember Poole,
Aye.
Councilmember Harrelson.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Just for the record, I've been here 10 years and I've never seen a bill that long.
Gives me a golden stripe for it.
You can get something. Well, the next item on the
We
agenda.
didn't have to read the overview. 'Cause the-
Yeah,
It's all in
the title,
the
yes.
Sums it up. On the next item, I'd like to have a motion to have the second reading of bill number 15-11.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to enter into an intergovernmental cooperative agreement on behalf of the City of Republic with Greene County municipalities as to mutual aid for jail and court services.
The motion to have final approval of bill number 15-11.
Motion. Second.
Mr. Derrickson,
Yes.
continue with this overview as well.
Okay. Chief Iams presented this at the last meeting, but there are a couple of things that need to bring forward. Again, we're kind of in a state of flux, and I think this was explained last time, that Senate Bill 5 was before the legislature, and it dealt with some restrictions that were going to be applied to municipalities as far as being able to arrest people and have them jailed. That has passed out of the Senate and House, is now on the governor's desk. So even though we have a proposed agreement attached, that may have to be revised to some extent based upon that bill if the governor chooses to sign it, which I have no reason to believe that he won't sign it. So we're looking at that bill and how we may need to insert some language into the proposed agreement. In fact, we had a paragraph at the end acknowledging that there was some legislation pending. We may just take that out and actually insert anything we need to into the bill that deals with the restrictions that are going to be imposed by that bill. The other thing that came up is Chief Iams, I believe he was approached by at least one of the Christian County municipalities, pointing out the fact that part of Republic is in Christian County, and they would like to, rather than drive someone on municipal warrant all the way over to Ozark, on the rare occasions that they do arrest someone, they wanted us to consider being able to enter into an agreement with them under the same circumstances as the agreement with the other municipalities in Greene County for housing a prisoner on a temporary basis. If council chooses to do that, then we would need to add an amendment to the current bill 1511 by adding language, a similar mutual aid agreement may be entered into with municipalities in Christian County. And if that's up to council to decide whether they want to do that or not. I imagine the primary cities that would take advantage of that might be Billings and Clemmer.
Questions, comments, discussion? Mr. Clinkenbeard.
Would that be if we did that, would that be limited to, when you say municipalities in Christian County, it wouldn't be county people that would be brought in? It would
It'd be under the same terms of the type of agreement we would enter into with the other municipalities in Greene County.
The other question is, should we, if we pass this and you make some sort of an agreement with somebody, and then the governor signs it in the middle, does it make the agreement go away, or do you just put contingencies in the
No,
agreement?
we will, right now, we do have a contingency in there saying, we understand we may have to come back and tweak the agreement based upon what happens. If the governor doesn't sign it before we start actual negotiations based upon passage of these bills tonight, if we haven't concluded those by the time he signs it, then we can work that in there. Of course, it wouldn't be effective till August 28th anyway, so.
What if you negotiate something with the city and then it becomes a large burden? Have you looked at what the governors might sign to see, is it
Well,
going
yeah,
to change
I've-
things dramatically?
No,
enough, or-
it's not going to change things. What it actually does, and the mayor and I were talking about this before the meeting, is it actually could reduce the number of people that are being arrested on municipal warrants, because what that bill does, it says for minor traffic offenses, and it defines what that is, and says you cannot have a fine more than $300, and you cannot issue a warrant for their arrest if they fail to appear, or if they don't pay, or anything like that. What the carrot they seem to think is out there is that a city can intercept a tax return. If you want to go through all that hoops of doing that, and if the person actually has income in which they might get a tax return, then you can intercept that to pay for the speeding ticket or whatever it might be.
Final question, how are we doing on the upgrades to the jail to be ready for this? Have they,
Well, Tim would probably be
Started.
best to answer that. Yeah, we did get the contract from Federal Protection to install the cameras. I'm not sure where they are in the process, and Tim can answer.
does that
The
go
cameras will be installed starting on May 25th. So that process and the access control back in the jail section starts on the 25th. It has taken about a week to week and a half to complete it.
Thank you.
The amendment's on the table, but before we get to that, Mr. Derrickson, this question about the amendment for Christian County, if we have somebody in, at least say, in the City of Republic, but it's in Christian County, City of Republic, and we arrest them on a warrant, and we normally, would we take them to Greene County or Christian County?
We would take them to Greene County, wouldn't we? Isn't that typically what we
If
probably
they're
have never arrested
If they're
anyone down there.
arrested in the county of Christian County,
Yes, that's what I
they
want.
go to Christian County Jail.
Like you do that now?
Yeah, you're required to if the arrest is made inside, so if at Island Green, someone
I'm
is
saying.
arrested, we would technically have to take them to Christian County.
That's why the amendment's
Okay.
important that we add this amendment, because of the fact that right now, we would still have to take
Yeah.
them, even with our own jail, we still have to take them over there.
Now,
There's
we,
a couple options to that amendment then. We could amend it and just say City of Republic people in Christian County, or we could amend it to include outside cities as
Once we
well.
open our jail, we'll be bringing them here regardless.
That is correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we wouldn't need the amendment unless we did want to.
unless you wanted to help Clever or Billings or one of the other communities
You
down that
probably
way.
want that as an option.
So that's the
we have
amendment
to
on the table that Mr. Derrickson just read. Do we have a motion on that?
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Okay, that motion carries on the amendment. The item is amendment, however, it's still on the table.
I would point out there is in your packet, again, trying to clean up language. We threw all this together fairly rapidly. I'll use that as an excuse for why these mistakes are in there. But I point out in a memo some minor changes, like we had the word 20 instead of 24 hours. Put in front of the word County of Greene, change stale to state. Just some things like that. So that's nothing you have to vote on. I just wanted you to be aware that those changes were being made.
Any questions on those changes, council? Mr. Wilson, yes, sir?
Clarify, does this bill allow Billings and Claver to bring prisoners to the public?
That's what that amendment would do, yes, on municipal warrants. Now, what the agreement is going to have to do is, if the governor signs that Senate Bill 5, we're going to have to make sure that no one brings a prisoner here on a warrant that violates that bill that the governor may sign. And so we'll put those precautions into the agreement to make sure people are aware they can't be doing that, although they should be aware, but we want to put it in there to make sure they're doing their due diligence so that we don't end up accepting a prisoner that we shouldn't be accepting.
Let me clarify something, Mr. Wilson. My thought is you're asking, can they do it now? We have to have the same intergovernmental agreement with those two municipalities as we do the other municipalities. So it has to go through the same vetted process with them as it does with us.
But, last question.
Yes, sir.
If this does pass, then if they arrest somebody, say out at Island Green, they would come to this jail if this passes.
If we're up and running, if it's on a municipal charge, a municipal warrant.
Right.
That'd save them a long trip.
Mr. Wickham,
I kind of asked this last time, and now that we're adding possible more cities into the mix, is there any kind of a cascade where, let's say it's 4th of July weekend, and you start bringing in a bunch of people and we get full? What happens if we're at capacity and someone gets picked up at Island Green?
Per the agreement that's being proposed is they have to call and we have to verify that we got space available.
Before they show up.
Before they show up. But if we don't have space available, then obviously we can't take any
They
prisoners.
go on to whatever their backup plan is,
Catch and release probably,
but whatever that.
yeah.
whatever their backup plan
Whatever
is.
their plan B is.
We don't own that one.
Yeah, but that'll be their
And do
option
we
to do.
always keep a couple then for us, so we always have our plan A?
That's going to be, based upon the numbers, it would really have to be a riot or something,
Don't
for us
jinx
to
us.
exceed capacity. But you never know. I mean, they had a 30-person melee up in Springfield this
Yeah.
weekend. They had no place to take anybody unless they put state charges on them.
Oh, yeah, the community center.
Community center. Jared, yeah. Your staff would take care of that, wouldn't they?
Security top notch.
Drain the pool and put them in there. Yeah.
Additional pertinent questions, comments, discussion. Mr. Derek Center, Lieutenant Wheeler.
Thank you, sir.
Anything at all? Okay. Fair enough. Roll call vote.
Councilmember Harrelson?
Aye.
Councilmember Polk?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Councilmember Brashears?
Aye.
Councilmember Jones?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilson?
Aye.
Councilmember Clinkenberg?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much. On the next item on new business, I'd like to have a motion to have the first reading of bill number 15-12.
Motion.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, annexing approximately 13 acres owned by CT Construction and Equipment, LLC, located at the southwest corner of the interchange of Interstate 44 and State Highway MM in Greene County, Missouri.
You're welcome, Ms. Nagel. Give us the overview, please.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a request for annexation of 13 acres located at the southwest corner of the interchange of I-44 and State Highway MM. The property is currently zoned commercial in the county, and if the annexation is approved, will be brought over into that same zoning classification in the City of Republic. It will also include about 1/4 of a mile of Farm Road 140 right-of-way that lies adjacent to the proposed property. Municipal utilities are not immediately available to the property for development, but will need to be extended approximately a half a mile from their closest location. We do have a map in your packet, I believe, identifying that location. I have an additional map if any of you would like to see where the utilities are located, but should this be annexed and developed, then future work would need to be done with the developer on extending those services. The transportation access to that property would be from State Highway MM onto Farm Road 140. where the site can be directly accessed. And the fact that this property would be annexed in and those additional areas annexed in as far as 140 would greatly enhance that development of that property in that location. That being said, staff recommends at this time approval of this annexation. But happy
Questions,
to-
comments, discussion for Ms. Noggle? Sorry, did I cut you?
It's okay. No, I was just going to say I'd be happy to answer any questions, but
Oh, I know you
you
will.
did that for me.
Questions, comments, discussion for Ms. Noggle?
I have one.
Mr. Wilson?
Will the developer be responsible for getting the sewer and water out there, or will the city be responsible?
That's a good question, Mr. Wilson. Usually, the developer is responsible for those types of expenses. That's pretty typical. That's not to say that the developer and the city might later on down the road, should the annexation take place and the project move forward, come to some sort of agreement through a developer's agreement to assist with those expenses. However, none of that would move forward without the approval of City Council. But it is typically on the developer's end to incur those expenses.
Additional questions, comments, discussion? Does it require the movement of the city limit sign? Closer to 44?
It would, yes.
Is that in the public works budget?
Actually, it's MoDOT.
If not, I would go out there and dig it up. After dark.
Additional questions, comments, discussion, Mr. Clinton?
I haven't even noticed, does it have Republic on that exit sign there coming off the highway, or would, I mean, does that enhance us having presence right there on 44?
You know, I'm trying to
I don't
visualize
remember
right
it.
now. I don't know if
think
it says
said
Republic right there or
MM one
not.
way and AB the other was, but I haven't paid
I-
attention since the new bridge has been up.
I don't know if I could say.
It-
We would certainly
I
need to do
assume that's
something about
probably
that.
an option.
67 it does. Exit 67 it does.
That would be a MoDOT, but that would certainly be
A
something
good
that we would need
request.
to do.
I mean, I think that would be a huge presence to have there, and if they started doing something, it could really produce some action
Absolutely.
on that end.
And
so.
especially if we could get them to name whatever it may be, the Republic, whatever.
Mr. Brock, you got any friends with MoDOT?
Just kidding.
Okay, just checking, just want to make sure.
One or two left.
They still like it.
No, that's Green County.
Additional pertinent questions, comments, discussion?
That came from you.
You did. I apologize. Anything else, council? All right, fair enough. This is a first read. If you have questions or comments now, between now and the next meeting, please contact Ms. Noggle in Planning and Economic Development Department across the street. Thank you, Gail. Appreciate it. On to other business, resolution number 15-R-33, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri authorizing the purchase of an International Model 7300 dump truck for the Street Division of Public Works. Would like to have a motion.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion, and a second. Welcome, Mr. Brown. Give us the overview, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. One of our budget items for the street division is a new 2-ton dump truck, and it is needed to take a similar-sized 1996 model out of primary service. And when I say out of primary service, we want to keep it in the fleet. Those larger trucks with the heavier plows do such a good job on snow plowing. Even though it's approaching 20 years old, it can still be used effectively on a part-time service and during snow and ice control. I mentioned it's a budgeted item. The budget execution plan calls for this to be financed over a 3-year period, working with Finance Director to secure those funds at the appropriate time. However, there's generally a 6 or 7 month lag between the time you place the order until the equipment shows up. So Mr. O'Donnell will be bringing forward appropriate documents for that lease purchase at a more time closer to when we will incur the debt. As noted in the exhibit, we want to utilize a MoDOT bid process, and advantages of that are twofold. One, we don't have to write detailed specifications for a very complicated piece of equipment, and two, they get bidders who would never respond to a bid request for Republic, Missouri. So we get good pricing, good detailed specifications. The award for this particular truck was to International, and so the MoDOT bid price $95,126.20, and this is for a 2016 model truck. Details some of the warranties there. We would expect, if this is approved, that we would have this in our fleet probably late November, available for use.
Fair enough. Questions, comments, discussion, Mr. Brown?
Save some money by getting rid of that AM FM radio. Speakers, price them speakers. Can't smoke in city vehicles anyway, there's a cigar lighter in there.
It's not auxiliary lighter.
It's called
Or
power.
auxiliary lighter.
Those are now referred to as a power porch.
You did have a birthday, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Okay, just checking.
Oh, not yet, it's coming.
I'm sure it is. Any other questions, comments, discussion, Mr. Brown? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Thank you.
Last item on the agenda, resolution number 15-R-34, resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing the city administrator to enter into a lease agreement for the city property located at 210 North Walnut Avenue, Republic, Missouri. Would like to have a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Mr. Christian, give us the overview, sir.
Okay, the current lease expires on June 1st. That was a 3-year lease agreement that we signed in 2012. City Council approved that lease agreement. Prior to that, the same owner, Sonia Rippey, the owner of Village Pottery Cafe, she actually started leasing that building in 2009. That was at a time where the building was obviously vacant. We were attracting new businesses in the downtown area. They entered into their first lease at a very low rental amount, lease amount per month, in hopes that they would be successful and bring other business to the downtown area. They've obviously been running a very successful business for the last 6 years. The new lease agreement, which would also be for a 3-year period, would expire June 1st of 2018. It would be to the same terms and conditions as the lease that was signed in 2012. So the lease amount would be a stagnant monthly amount for the same monthly amount for each month for the whole 3-year period, which would be $550. And that really is a good rental and lease amount for that particular building in that particular location. So that's what we're requesting.
Questions, comments, discussion for Mr. Christian. Mr. Clinkenbeard?
How is that covering our costs at the moment as far as $550 versus what we have in cost to either maintain or taxes or anything like that?
They take care of all of the utility costs, and as well as any minor miscellaneous maintenance type costs. We have had some larger expenses. We put an air conditioning unit in the building, and we've had a few other larger expenses over the years. Hard to recoup all of that in a lease amount, but this, over a 3-year period, we'll certainly get, a fair rental amount for that, and it was something that we would have had to do regardless of what we had used that building for. So if that answers your
On
question.
property, usually it's common for leased properties to have like either a common area maintenance or some sort of a fee on top, like a triple net type of charge that helps cover things like the maintenance of the property and property taxes, because obviously values are going, up each year. To keep that rental at a flat level the whole time doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, especially if it's the same rate we've been charging from 3 years ago.
Well, it's not the same. We started at a lower rent in 2012. It went up 2013 and went up and capped at the $550 in 2014. And that seems to be about the upper limit. Now, these are based on conversations that I've had with her and what her business is doing and how much she's able to do in that particular location. I think anything greater than that, I think will probably put a strain on her business.
I understand that, but we don't want to lose money either. We could close it down and pretty much have nothing, so we're not on that, 6,000 a year or a little more. We're not in a lost position by doing that, correct?
No, we're not lost.
I mean, obviously, we want to have a business there, and they do a great job, so it's not anything negative to them. I just don't want to set the precedence that we'll lease our properties at a loss to the public.
City owns the property, so there's no property taxes. Our insurance for the building is, I could get that exact amount for you, I don't know it off on top of my head, but it's not
Not above that.
exceptional amount. Oh, no, not anywhere close to anywhere near $6,000
Okay.
per year. Maintenance, like I
Like
said,
an air
they do the
conditioner could be
majority
5
of the
or
minor
6.
maintenance out there. We have had some electrical issues, and like I said, the heating and air conditioning unit had to be replaced. So we have had, some fairly significant costs go into that building. However, those would have been things we would have had to done either way.
So Positive plus sales tax and
It's sales
having someone
tax
in the
and-
building keeping it active and stuff.
It has people
Okay.
in the downtown area. It's one of those, you're not your typical rental property.
Sure.
And I know what you're referring to with your triple net lease for a retail center. It's not quite that type of an arrangement. It's more one that is encouraging her to keep her business in the downtown area, make sure that she stays profitable and bringing people downtown. And it's our best judgment of what
Sure.
it's fair to
Both
her as
sides.
fair to the city.
And they haven't approached about purchasing then?
They have not approached us about purchasing the property. And until a decision, and I've not
We haven't
made that
approached them
suggestion
either,
either,
sure.
just because we're not sure what's going to happen with the city hall, and there's no reason yet to go down that path.
Sure. I appreciate your answers.
Question, Mr. Wilson?
Yeah, are they having any problems making their monthly rent?
No, they had, and in the very beginning, the second lease agreement that was done in 2012, their lease payment was due the first of every month. That was problematic to them because of some of their other expenses. We altered that to make it due on the 15th of every month, and since that time, she has been on time with all of her lease payments.
I mean, she's doing well there too, so that's good.
Additional questions, comments, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0. Need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody want to stay? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.